All right, folks, we are back. We are back, and we are better than ever. We are about to get underway with our next series, which is going to be Carnage versus Zerton. So guys, we're about to have Eerie rejoin us as well. Or I'm sorry, not Eerie. We're about to have PF2K rejoin us as well. Let me know in the chat what you guys think about who the victor is going to be in this matchup.
Hello?
Hello, PF2K. Welcome back, my friend.
I'm back. Yep. Good to be back. This time with a great series on our hands.
Absolutely. It's going to be excellent indeed, and I think we've got a good shot this time around at seeing this series go all the way to 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get our players ready here, guys, and then we're going to get underway. Hope you guys are having an excellent Saturday so far. Enjoying some Age of Empires Online. Again, this is a best of 5. Game number 1 starts at Mountain Crossing, and I will get our civ selections here in just one moment. So I'm very anxious to see what our civ selections here are going to be. It looks like Carnage is going Celt and Zerton is going Babylon. Wow.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Very
What's the map again? The first map?
Mountain Crossing.
Oh, that's really cool. I wonder how Zerton's going to play this as Babylon.
Yeah.
Blessings upon you.
It'll be very cool.
Get your popcorn ready.
Wow, donated $10. Thank you very much. Wow, get your popcorn ready indeed, guys, because this could very well be one of the best series that we're going to see.
For sure. Yes.
So, without further ado, let's see if we can get game number 1 rolling here. Everyone, there you go. There's that popcorn rolling in chat. That's what we like to see. Okay. All right, everybody's got their popcorn ready. Folks, invite your friends, get your friends in here, because we've got Carnage versus Zerton coming up here. How, PF2K, I'm not super familiar with this matchup, Babylon versus Celt. I imagine the Celt player is going to want to get to H3 for Horsemen pretty quickly, given the good cavalry options that the Babylonians have.
PF8K, will you invite us to your wedding?
If you mean Lancers, then yeah, I think one misconception is that Lancers are too good against Celts in H2, but if you get champion Spearmen for the Celts, I think you'll be ahead in terms of resources trading if you put Spearmen against Lancers, but overall, in this matchup, you don't really want to stay in H2 as either Civ. You want to get to H3 because that opens up a lot of new combinations for your army. And before I get into that, let's see what the players are doing here. Both players, I think, are going for a dock. Zerton surely is. There's Carnage. And look at this beautiful map. This is your favorite terrain set, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
The Celtic Autumn.
Yeah, this Celtic Autumn is amazing. I love the colors. It looks absolutely incredible. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to the Ace9 for that $9 donation. He said, PF8K, will you invite us to your wedding? Well, my friend, I'm sorry, I do not know who PF8K is. I do have my good friend PF2K in chat here, though.
It's just someone who's 4 times better than me. And, I don't talk about him too much because it's hard to talk about people who are just better than you. But anyway, let's see. Zerton's now struggling for a bit of food. Okay, now he's queuing up a villager, and that's interesting. Carnage is just keeping some villagers on the berries. Maybe he just wants to do that until he has 2 fishing boats on the fish, and that's a little bit unfortunate for him where he put his dock, because he wanted to put a dock somewhere that he could use for 2-for-1 storehouse. I mean, for fish and for wood. But the first fish that's close to his dock is actually pretty far away compared to Zerton's. I think Zerton's, yeah, it's just adjacent to the dock, but it doesn't matter too much. Both players are going for a really greedy opening. Zerton even queuing up a 3rd fishing boat before making any sort of military. And I think he just sent a villager to stone, I believe. Zerton, I mean. Oh, no. Is he going? Oh, he just scouted. I think he just scouted that the pond is actually spawning at the top side of the map this time around.
Yeah, and it looks like he is going to send it up to the top now. So Zerton going to try for that early 2nd dock control. Carnage, meanwhile, is still gathering from these berry bushes, interestingly enough.
And yeah, by the way, I know we talked about this, but here we see the 3rd set of Spartan Vanity beat by players in this tournament. So far we saw the Heroic Spartan on Erie's unit, we saw the Black Cat Vanity on Striker's units, and now we see the Hades helmets on Zerton's villagers, and that feels really good to see.
Yeah.
There's the Ziggurat by Zerton going up, so, and now he's also gathering gold. So I wonder if he's gearing up to make some bioreams and defend the top pond. But one thing that I'd like to mention, can we check the sides of the ponds, or the main ponds rather? No. Yeah. Okay, and the other side for Zerton. So, can you check the very top, please? The very, very top of the. Okay, so this is the only spot that somebody can get proxy docked on this map. Carnage is completely safe. RNG was with him this time. Or actually, can you rotate the camera? I think maybe there's a very narrow... Oh wow, I take that back. Actually, both players have a small opening on both of their pawns that can get proxy docked, and I expect Carnage to do that. Not sure about Zerton. I haven't seen him play enough to know, but Carnage will definitely try and backdoor Zerton's pawn, and he needs to be really careful with that. Queuing up that Byrim already. And he's getting handsaw, so that's very nice of him. Yeah,
Carnage
he doesn't know about...
moving his fishing boat up here a little bit further to, I guess, maybe scout that dock there for Zerton. He does see that Zerton is on this pond, and now Carnage needs to be careful.
Uh-oh, he's not looking. One more shot. Oh, no. Actually, it's surviving with 2 HP. Oh, no. That's a big snipe for Carnage, but now he is in H2, and he is going to queue up a swan ship, or is he? Oh, he does not have the gold for it. He just put 1 villager on gold, and he's queuing handsaw, so he's even more behind in terms of gold. I think he's just foregoing the swan ship, to be honest. I don't see him getting it. Just doesn't have the food, the gold.
Do you think that was purposeful? Do you think he maybe was pulling a page out of Erie's book? Because look at this.
Oh my god, I told you, but I think Zerton already saw it. It's fortunate for Zerton because that... Oh yeah, he sees it, but is he paying attention? It's in his vision.
It's in his vision, but I don't think he's noticed it yet.
Yeah, it's just a tiny, tiny red dot. Oh, that's the Swan ship though. If this Swan ship gets made, and Zerton's not queuing up a Byreme, oh my god, this actually can be huge. Like, extremely huge. Carnage should just skip attacking the fishing boats, and he should just right click on those wood gatherers, because there's a lot of them there, and that splash damage can just wreak havoc. And I think this is gonna work. The dummy duck working once again on the same map. Oh my god, yeah, Carnage immediately. Oh my god, Zerton needs to pull.
He sees
Oh no,
it.
one more volley, and oh no. Oh god damn it. That's hurtful to watch. And now Zerton's house blocked, and he cannot produce any Byremes in his main pond. He needs to immediately delete one of the Byremes at the top and queue up from his dock. This is scary. Even a second Swan. Oh my god.
2 fishing boats down now for Zerton. Second Swan ship coming out for Carnage. Carnage still trying to get on those wood gatherers. He did get a couple villagers earlier.
Oh wow, this is getting out of hand actually.
Is
Carnage
Zerton
even getting champion spearman.
I think Zerton's just giving up this pond.
What is that building? Is that a barracks? 2 buildings. One barracks, 1 archery range, while Carnage is queuing up champion spearman. Can you get the villager count really quick, please? 33 to 31. Oh man, Carnage really getting a lot of value from these Swan ships, and now he's fishing from the from the pond of Zerton. So at the end of the day, he's the 1-2 ponds, even though he doesn't have access to the middle one.
Interesting.
Wow, this is extremely annoying for Zerton. And he's moving his wood gatherers to the front, and those will be just greeted by the champion spearman swarm of Carnage, which is on its way already, making 2 at a time with the champion upgrade too. So they wreck buildings. Not only do they have a lot of base HP, base DPS, sorry, now they have a bonus versus buildings too. Eerie pointing out that Carnage can actually kill the Ziggurat, and that's actually true. If Zerton loses the Ziggurat, if he wants to go H3, he needs to rebuild the Ziggurat once again before he can go to H3, because Babylonians aging up is a little different from most civilizations. You need to build a Ziggurat to get to H2, and from then on, you research the age up text inside the Ziggurat.
Yeah, that would be devastating for Zerton if Carnage was able to pull that off. Garden's coming down for Zerton as well. So Zerton, you know, he's one of the best players in the game. Of course, he's stabilizing pretty well here, but will it be enough?
Yeah, Zerton has a really interesting setup of his units, by the way. Like, he has naked shield bearers, but they have the heroic, the Hades shield. So it's like they probably stole these. I mean, I don't think they could have afforded it, to be honest. They can't even afford proper clothing.
I actually think it looks pretty badass with the naked units, but then just that big ass shield with the Hades symbol. It's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Eerie pointing out that Carnage can actually make a tower with his villager next to the dock. Yeah, he's actually right. If he puts a tower there, it can deny the villagers from gathering wood, but I don't think Carnage knows about the wood line. Probably doesn't. And by the way, I wanted to mention that at the top, Zerton has so many fishing boats, and I think they've already eaten all of the fish. Only 2 schools of fish remaining, actually 3, so never mind. If he gets the fishing tech, then it's pretty good for him, but I wouldn't make more fishing boats than that for this pond.
Yeah, I was thinking that was quite a few, although maybe Zerton was just trying to maybe jumpstart his food income to get
By the
back
way,
to where
am
it
I
was.
seeing caravans? Caravans for Carnage?
Look at this.
Oh wow,
Proxy dock from
we missed this
Zerton.
one. Yeah, but is it in time? I think Carnage got a lot of value from, and Zerton's not even queuing up a Byron. Okay, now he is, but
the thing is the fish is almost done.
yeah, but the wood line, that's the thing.
That's true.
Does
That's true.
Carnage have? Well, I mean, if he just transfers a little bit to the left side, I think the Byrems can't touch it. But I said it at the beginning of the game that both players have a great backdoor possibility from the
Indeed.
top of their wood line, but yeah, we see. Oh, he actually did kill the Ziggurat. He actually did kill the Ziggurat. I don't see the Ziggurat there. Wow, so that's a huge deal. So Zerton needs to invest another 400 resources on the Ziggurat and then research H3 from there. So that's huge. That's huge.
And surely Zerton has noticed that by now. Here come the buy rooms for Zerton, so Carnage now is aware, and it looks like he's queuing up a Swan ship to try to contest. And excuse
I don't
me,
think that'll work out.
No, I don't think so either, because there are now 3 buy rooms onto the field, and a
Fourth one on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of resources invested. I think he can abandon the dock. Possibly. Well, I mean the armory is there, so and also the caravans in range. So yeah, he needs to do something about this. One thing he can do, it's kind of a trick, but if he can just put a wall like at the top of the where you're looking at, like where yeah, there. If he puts a wall there to the left until like the edge of the archery range to the left, then the caravans will just reroute and avoid the sea. But he already has 2 Swan ships out actually, and 2 Swan ships, if they just leave each other, like I mean, if both players don't micro, Swan ships can just deal with those wirings because they're so pop efficient.
But look at this, Carnage, very cool, keeping his Swan ships at the coast here and repairing them with his villagers. He is.
But that comes at a cost.
It does.
Both Swan ships, yeah, both Swan ships get hit by the splash damage, and now 12 villagers are standing idle there. And there's another Swan ship by Carnage. I think he's better off actually microing the Swan ships rather than pair them like this. But there are 2 really low buy reams for Zerton there, so if Carnage just focuses them down first. Yeah, but now he's losing a lot of HP on these Swan ships. He's repairing one of them though, and he's making more and more Swan ships, and H3 coming in for Zerton, who is actually full, 160 pop. He did make the Ziggurat again, I believe. If you click on the upgrade, you will find the Ziggurat. Okay, there it is. Oh, how did we not see that? If he hits H3, he does have a lot of gold for all of his champion techs. So he can get Shield Bearer champion. If he gets oh, look at this. Zerton is fully confident about being able to take this pawn, making it second dot here.
Interesting though, because Carnage is doing a great job of the micro and getting these buy rooms down one by one.
Oh yeah, but he did fall behind in aging up, and there, Shield Bearer champion and Bowman champion for Zerton coming in. If he also gets Slinger champion, though I don't know if he even has any Slinger. I don't see any. He only has Shield Bearer and Bowman actually. Wow.
Yep.
That's not a common army composition. I usually like to mix in some slingers at least. Although I was gonna say that if Zerton has some slingers now, he should get Slinger champion, because that makes the oh my god, ram ships. That makes the slingers of Carnage pretty useless. But he only has Bowman, so guess not. And this one, 2 towers actually. 2 towers by Carnage, being a reference in Lord of the Rings. 2 towers.
2 towers, absolutely. Love it.
Yeah, they do a lot of damage to boats. Yeah, the 4 bonus the towers have against ships.
So,
Those
okay, why doesn't Carnage send his army to, especially now that Zerton is transitioning to ram ships, why does he not send his army to take out these docks?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing too, but both players seem to be too focused on microing their to actually do anything. Yeah, I think Zerton is Carnage to do. He's sending his entire army to deal with the dock there, but yeah, Carnage is doing the same. Are they listening? This is suspicious.
That's exactly what I just was starting to think. I was like, huh, as soon as I said that, both players started moving out.
Yeah. By the way, if you noticed, Zerton was trying to dodge the tower shots, but you actually cannot do that if I remember right. The tracking rate of tower arrows is fast enough for you to be unable to dodge. Yeah, okay, so there's the dock dead for Carnage. He needs to delete those fishing boats because they're redundant. And there's the dock for Zerton. So now we're back at Zerton being in the advantage in terms of pawns, but I think it doesn't really matter anymore.
The one thing, though, Carnage may be able... I mean, I'm assuming Zerton is not going to be interested in the fish left in this pond, but Carnage could perhaps be a nuisance with these fishing ships along the coast here, taking some shots at these villagers.
Yeah, just to be super annoying. How much gold is he getting from this? I don't think it's more than 60. If you just hover over that caravan... No, you just need to hover over one full caravan, the ones that carry gold. Oh, 73, okay. So yeah, if you hover over the caravans that are gathering gold, you need to be fast with your mouse. No, you just need to keep your mouse on the caravan. Oh, they are too speedy. Okay, yeah, you just saw it for a second. Look at the center of the map. The center of the map, there's a fight going on. Okay. So, I don't think this army by Zerton is going to do much. It's so low on DPS, and it doesn't do anything to anything that's not infantry. So let's see how this turns out, especially with the Druid healing for Carnage. Yeah, I think this is gonna go really bad for Zerton. But he can go H4 actually. He has so many resources. He should just go H4. Yeah,
it's a nice composition here for Carnage with the long swords and the slingers. It perfectly counters the bowmen and shield bearers here for Zerton.
Yeah, so the thing with shield bearer bowman is that you need some sort of other DPS for units that are not infantry. As you saw, shield bearers do a good job at tanking, but they don't do any sort of damage. And also the Babylonian bowman is geared towards infantry more than, let's say, Persian bowman. So if you just hover over the stats of a Babylonian bowman, you will see that the DPS is actually not that high, but the multiplier is high, like 2.5. So you really want to use them against infantry only. This is going to be really tough for Zerton to defend actually. Now he does have some lancers, but Carnage is smartly sending his horsemen to snipe the gardens. And yeah, looking really good for him. Even using his army to attack the army of Zerton, and those lancers are stuck at the back. Okay, they're still... I mean, they're starting to clean this up, so Carnage does need to pull back, but overall, looks really good for Carnage. Oh, he's repairing that garden. He's barely saving that garden, actually. I think Carnage cannot snipe it. Yeah, nice. I just saw the HP going really low, and then suddenly coming back up. Look at the resources of Carnage. I would just press the H4 button, man. He has everything. Actually, Celts, how much gold? I mean, how much stone do Celts need to go H4 again? I think it's 600, right? It should be.
Yeah,
I can't check. 600, yeah.
1,200 food, 1,200 wood, 600 stone, right? Or something like
no, not wood, but gold.
Oh,
1,200
yeah,
food and gold,
yeah,
600 stone. Yes. Yeah, 600. Thanks, Erie, for confirming. I just... you will laugh, but I have spent so much time doing PvE stuff and campaigns for the Romans that I'm starting to forget the PvP stats. It's a little embarrassing, actually. But yeah, look at this. Carnage is not going H4 yet, but he is making a lot of horsemen, some slingers and woad raiders now. And I really like the fact that he is not forgetting his druids, because yeah, druids are essential, especially when fighting Babylonians, because Babylonians have pharmacology, and pharmacology is basically free healing all the time, and you don't really want to take trades with an army that can heal itself back. Oh yeah, but this force by Zerton, and at the same time at the top of the base of Carnage there's some force there who's also breaking in. Yeah, so Carnage needs to split his forces accordingly, and he's only sending horsemen to defend against this, but Zerton has some mounted archers here too. But I guess he doesn't want to stay there. He pulls back, and look at this, charge kiting by Zerton. That's actually pretty good. Lancers do triple the, actually no, not triple, I think it's 2.75 now in champion mode upon hitting their target with their charge. So you can do a lot of damage with them, but at the same time he's sending a main force at the center of the map, some force at the bottom, so being really, really active, really good for Zerton, but he needs to age up. So one of the things that I see Zerton often do is stockpile on resources so much when he can just go to H4. Like, why is he not going H4 now? Look at his resources. He's almost full pop, and yeah, I don't know.
Wall upgrade here coming from Carnage, trying to keep his defense up, especially the southern part here. He's got a fairly open town center here down in the south, and that's also providing
Carnage.
the gold for his caravans.
He's going H4 though. Carnage is. Oh, and look at that. Zerton did not have this point. So that's huge, kinda. He's sending more and more units at the bottom though, but Carnage is doing the same. So yeah, he just needs to respond to the raid at the top. Actually, it's not a raid even. It's just a wall. And look at those beautiful walls by both players. Looks so pretty at the top. Red Celtic walls and blue Babylonian walls facing each other. And by the way, for the people who don't know where this wall comes from, it's exclusive to champion mode PvP. So if you want pretty walls, play PvP.
Gotta get the PvP plug in there.
Yep.
PvP.
This match is sponsored by champion mode. Play free now.
Exactly. Alright, so Carnage is gonna send in some range units.
This is not gonna go well for Carnage because there are so many Lancers at the front, but he is in H4 now, and I expect him to immediately queue up. Yep, exactly what he just did. Carpentum champion, Horseman champion, but Zerton's already really close to H4 too, thanks to his gardens reducing the research time, and it's gonna be interesting to see which compositions these guys are gonna go for. So I see he's getting a Royal Agriculture for his gardens to make sure he gets 12 gardens. And he is getting Mounted Archer Champion, Cultivation. So many techs. 4th TC though. Where's that 4th TC, Carnage? You need a 200 pop. Okay, he does. He does have it, so he lost some. Okay, never mind. Alright.
Carnage gonna...
Can we get the wall in PvE? No, you can't. I'm sorry. There's a certain number of techs for each civ in PvE, and that's not going to change. So no Carpenters for Carnage just yet, but he needs to respond at the top. Is there? Are those? Oh, never mind. I thought I saw it's at the TC, but there aren't. These Lancers are gonna be spotted by Carnage, who is gonna defend. But Recon, I mean, sorry, not Recon. Zerton is not relenting at the bottom side with the aggression. I think that's really nice. And yep. I do believe that Carnage could be a little bit more aggressive. I mean, you don't really see this that often where Babylonians are the aggressor, but this is a trap. I don't think Zerton can get out of this. He's stuck between the cliffs and the forest. So those units are all gonna die. And at the same time, I saw a batch of Babylonian villagers moving. I think they just started gathering from the stone mine, just at the top of your screen. They probably are. But at the center, there's a fight going on right now. Check that. Yeah, okay. There's no meat line for Carnage here, so those Lancers are tanking a lot of damage without being damaged in return. So I think... What are they? Once those Lancers die, these Mounted Archers are really, really... And there come the stable units of Carnage.
Another thing, though, is he's missing 3 population here.
That's true, yeah.
He's never deleted those fishing boats.
But Carnage, on top of his upgrades, he's getting the H4 melee armor. And look at this, Carnage is just having none of it. He just assigned 2 villagers whose sole job is to repair this all the time.
For eternity.
Yeah, for eternity. The Celtic Empire.
Yeah, exactly. Couple villagers getting caught off guard here by Carnage's horsemen. Carnage is going to try to push into these walls here. Going to be met by a very nice ball of lancers and mounted archers at this point.
Yeah, Carnage needs to focus the mounted archers with his back line, because if you put these armies in front of each other with no micro, the army always comes out on top. And Carnage needs to be microing a little bit more than he is right now. Yeah, now he's doing that. I see the Carpentomes attacking the mounted archers, but Zerton's also doing a really good job with his unit control, trying to split the mounted archers so they don't get hit by the splash of the Carps, making more lancers. And Carnage is also making only stable units. Zerton getting the Pierce armor upgrade for H4.
Zerton just chasing Carnage back into his base.
He's 60 population behind right now. Yeah, that's one of the strengths of the Babylonians with the gardens, is the super quick reinforcements time that they get. But on the other hand, Zerton is completely gold starved right now. It's not about that. It's all the villagers of Carnage. See those skeletons got massacred.
I think we're having some connection issues now. You're kind of going to a robotic type voice there.
Oh really? I'm just transforming into PF2K Prime.
Or PF8K perhaps.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, PF9K1. These mounted archers are being a pain in the butt for Carnage right now, but he is making some some carps to deal with them, but at the same time there's a bunch of them at the bottom. So Carnage is really getting outplayed here a little bit by Zerton in terms of army movement. He's just everywhere, man.
I think this is GG. Carnage is down to 30 villagers.
Oh my god, how did that happen? I'm mind blown by this. How
28 now.
28 91 of Zerton. So that does mean that the army sizes are not too different, and Carnage is rebuilding his villagers, so the score is a little deceiving here. That huge army of Carnage is his one shot at coming back, but he needs to reinforce his defenses and rebuild his walls. I think he really needs to make a wall at the front too. And he's running so low on gold right now. Actually, he's selling some gold in the market, and I'm a little worried for him right now, because these Carpentomes are good, but not extremely good at killing buildings. They are good at focusing down one piece of wall, though. Yeah, so if they get through that wall, then you need to check the villager count again in a few seconds. Where is Zerton's army? Where is it? Does he have none? I don't. Oh, yeah, he needs to make some more units. But I'm not sure what Carnage is doing here. Is he needs to send some carps from the wall? I mean, the hole in the wall. A little surprised here. Okay,
Yeah.
there's the wall. Is that his wall? That's the wall from Zerton, actually, pulling in Carnage. Okay.
A little bit of the cheeky play here from Zerton. I am confused why Zerton pulled out of Carnage's base earlier when he had Carnage down to 28 villagers, and Carnage didn't have much of an army to deal with Zerton. But now Zerton is defending again.
This is strange. I don't know if I like. Oh my god, Carnage is gonna get sandwiched here, and he just right-clicked on the fortress instead. He wasted so much DPS there. Oh my god, he's getting completely sandwiched here by the army of Zerton. Carpentomes are good, but not when you get fully surrounded by lancers. And actually, I think this is going way better for Zerton. I mean, for Carnage than I expected.
His back against the cliff, and he is holding tight.
Holy crap! Okay, I did not see that coming, to be honest. I guess Carnage believed in the power of Carpentomes, and he was rewarded for his faith.
The massacre of the German cliffs, as it was known on this Saturday.
Yeah. from this point onwards, there will always be a dead body in that part of Mountain Crossing, no matter how many times you spawn it.
This is the cliff that won the day here for Carnage. Carnage now trying to reamass his Carpentums, and it looks like he's kind of just gone full Carpentum here.
Yeah, and Zerton's responding by Lancers, so I'm not sure. I'm trying to think what would be the best response here. But like, Lancers don't come to my mind as the first answer. But at the same time, look at the top side of Carnage's base. There's a lot of blue stuff in there. Yeah, he's sending the to repair just at the right moment. And I think those are all Lancers, so they cannot kill the villagers from the other side of the wall. Oh, but they did break in. So Carnage needs to respond immediately, and on the other side too.
So it looks like Carnage is going to do a decent job of getting some of those Lancers out, but a few Lancers here for Zerton are going to bring down a few caravans. And ultimately, at this point, Carnage's economy is pretty heavily dependent on those caravans. They just have some lumberjacks left, but...
However, the score is deceiving right now, because look at the bank of Zerton. It has 5,000 wood, 4,000 gold. And if you're not actively using your resources, banking them up doesn't really do much for you. And Carnage should realize that and not really get discouraged by how low his score is in comparison to Zerton. I do have to say though that as funny as that may sound, Carnage might run out of wood like a lot faster than a Zerton would, because Zerton has a lot of the map to his name, let's say.
Yeah, and Carnage only has a little bit of a forest back here, almost out of this northern forest, and so then the only thing he would have access to left in his base is this front forest here, which Zerton is trying to kind of be a nuisance with these walls. And Zerton pretty much has complete map control, and look at this, a siege tower, or siege towers coming out now for Zerton down here in the south.
Yeah, Zerton's now making siege towers though. Although, I don't think Carnage is going to have a particular problem dealing with them. He does have a few barracks left still, if I saw it correctly, in his base. So he just needs to send a couple of Wood Raiders, and they will easily deal with this, these siege towers. However, I'm a little surprised that neither playing is making use of range siege. I mean, both players have... Well, I guess... Carnage does not have a fortress, but Zerton has more than enough fortresses to make some Palantonans. But we're missing a fight at the center, actually. Okay, Zerton realizes that he cannot stay there. Ooh, and look at that. Carnage only now getting horseshoes. That's, is that a horseshoes? Yeah, it's called horseshoes. It's a huge upgrade, and especially considering that his own, literally the only units that he has are stable units. He really needs to get that. And he's trying to kill this wall, and I think he will easily. And once he gets inside the base, Zerton is not going to like what he's going to see.
A couple towers coming up here for Zerton, trying to defend desperately, but his units are coming in fast.
Yeah, and he's not a... He doesn't have any sort of mounted archers. He has... Like, he literally only has lancers and siege towers. Yeah, he's trying to go for some kind of base trade, and that might work for him, actually. Like, he has a bigger bank, so trading everything is gonna go better for him than it is for Carnage. And look at this, just complete havoc and chaos in the base of Carnage. And he's gonna take out the town center, and I wonder what he's gonna do after that. I mean, Zerton's completely fine. Look at 10,000 gold. 10,000 gold.
Well, his market line is much better, although it is now vulnerable due to the fact that this town center that it was trading with goes down.
Even if he just rallies to the top TC, he's going to be fine. He can delete his caravans now. He has 10,000 gold. Like, he has 12 gardens. He can just remake the caravans later on. But he is just destroying the base of Carnage, taking out the TCs, taking out the markets, and Carnage needs to do something about this. They're just going full base trade here.
Yeah, and I believe, like you mentioned, I believe Zerton's going to come out on top in this trade. Carnage desperately trying to get out Horseman here, but it's just not going to be enough.
Well, I mean, if he is pop blocking Zerton now, and he's still making Lancers, nothing but Lancers. And Carnage is he is making Horsemen, but thank you Contagion and with the Twitch Prime. That's really nice. Welcome to the Project Celeste family. And look at this. I'm not sure. Like, I think overall this is Zerton's game, because like the resource bank is just huge, and yeah, he is just able to remake the town centers. She just buys some stone and remakes them, while Carnage can't do that. He doesn't have a market. He doesn't have stone. That's his last TC. If he loses that TC, he's actually got a timer. Actually, okay, he does have some more TCs there, but yeah, this is really interesting. Just full base trade for both players, but Carnage is down 80 population almost. There's the GG. Wow, crazy, crazy game.
All right, so GG. Zerton takes it. Yeah, Carnage, I was honestly surprised Carnage showing how good of a player he is by coming back from 28 villagers. That was just insane.
Yeah.
And thank you to YGG Drassel.
Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil is like, it's like the tree of life for the Norse, I
okay.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Very cool. Thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Contagion and Yggdrasil trying to start a hype train here. Let's get some more hype going, guys. More donations, more subs. Thank you very much.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Alright, so yeah, this was just an absolutely crazy game. Look at that. Look at that dip there in the villagers for Carnage.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, it was well played by him to come back, but Zerton pretty much had the villager economic advantage throughout the game since the mid-game. Resources. Carnage was outgathered by Zerton by about 30,000 resources, almost 40,000. And technology, Zerton also had the advantage. So.
Yeah, crazy game. Crazy game.
Alright, so I'm going to get our map pick and our civ picks from our players. You guys, let me know what you thought of that first game there from Zerton and Carnage. What did you guys think? Is that what you expected? Or it certainly wasn't what I expected.
Nice. Yeah, really nice game.
So let's see here.
By the way, are you able to use the chat hider? I think because of the have a delay on the stream, we need to take some extra measurements for a player's privacy. If you could just enable the chat hider, or increase the delay, but I don't think you can increase the stream. So.
Yep. I'll get that on there. I've just got it hidden.
Yes, thank you.
So I'm trying to get the map pick here from Carnage. He tried to pick Arabia, but Arabia is not in the pool. So Zerton takes game number 1. Going to get map and civ pick here momentarily. Alright, so Carnage picks Ghost Lake.
Oh, cool. Ghost Lake.
And Carnage is going to pick the Egyptians.
Nice. I always love to see that.
A lot of players picking Ghost Lake today, so that's very interesting.
Recon must be proud.
Indeed.
And it's a pretty good map, actually. One of the best. Really nice job from Recon importing that map from AOM, last 6 of that game. And yeah, really nice to see people playing it, kicking it often.
It is a very, very nice map indeed, so shout out to Recon. We're just waiting on Zerton here to get in the match, guys, so...
Yeah.
And it looks like Zerton is also going to choose the Egyptians. So we're going to have an Egyptian mirror on Ghost Lake. Pretty interesting. I suspect we'll see a lot of camels in this matchup.
That's one way, but this is a small map. One thing that you should have in your mind is that one of the players can easily just quickly turn around, make some champion spearmen, and just right click behind the enemy's base. Because if you have a lot of camels, then one player switches to spearmen, then what are you gonna do? You only have stables, and camels are not what you want to make against spearmen.
Indeed. So let's see if we can get Zerton in here, and then we will start game number 2, folks. Let me get your predictions in chat for game number 2. Is Carnage going to even it up at 1-1, or will Zerton push him to the brink and take it to 2-0?
Press 1 for Carnage, press 2 for Zerton and press F for striker.
F's in the chat for striker. Shout out to my boy.
Press F to pay respect.
Indeed.
But it's really interesting though. EVE on Ghost Lake. I don't think we've had an Egyptian mirror yet, have we?
I've not. I haven't. Yeah, we haven't had an Egyptian mirror yet, and I haven't seen an Egyptian mirror on Ghost Lake at all ever. I don't think. So it's
Yeah,
gonna
and
be
these
very
are some of the best, if not the best, Egyptian players we have. Zerton always been really good at it throughout the years, and Carnage also. Both of these players have been using Egypt as one of their signature civs throughout all of these years. And let's see how this plays out. I'm really curious. Like, I have no idea how this is gonna go. But if I had to guess, I would say that Carnage is gonna be the one who stops making camels and starts making spears. That's my guess. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am right. Time will tell.
Indeed. So we got Zerton in the southern part of the map here as the blue player, and Carnage in the northern part of the map as the red player. Both players have their priestesses on the town centers. Both players going for
I wanted to point out something quickly. Carnage is taking advantage of the attack animation of the Egyptian villagers, and he's immediately sending his scout to get the sheep. If you look at his villagers who are building the hunt storehouse, he didn't kill the deer with his villagers with his scout, but instead started killing them with his villagers. That's really nice of him. It's like, yeah, look at that. He is that's a really good play by Carnage. And let's see Sheep Wars. Yeah, it really comes down to micro, but I think Carnage is just giving up that easily. I don't know. Okay, there are 3 other sheep by Carnage. He is making a barracks though. And is Zerton making a barracks? That bear is not being the friendliest of bears. Look at that.
Sheep Wars indeed. Now the bear is going to attack Zerton's scout. Carnage escaping while he can with 1 sheep. Zerton getting 2 for his troubles. Looks like Zerton.
I actually need to check something. Is that bear supposed to be a brown bear? I think I've set it to be a polar bear. Somehow it's not. I have to check it later. And look at that. Zerton just splitting his sheep to make sure Carnage is unable to catch both of them. And Carnage is not gonna see it actually. Yeah, and that's one of the strengths of the Egyptians. Like, that priestess there is forever going to guard those sheep, and when you have sheep next to your priestess, you know they are safe. Nobody's going to eat them but you.
Gotta protect the sheep, that is for sure.
Yeah, no sheep donations. Yeah, Erie is not playing. And these guys, I don't think they want to donate sheep to each other. So what do you think about the group of 2 or now 3 spearmen that Carnage is making? Does that seem like a common thing? Doesn't to me. 4 spears actually.
Yeah, it looks like Carnage is going to try to be a little bit aggressive here with these spears, although Zerton trying to steal those sheep, and he does get away with 1, so...
Oh, he did actually. Oh my god, we need to make a report about PvP tournament. Cattle rustling and sheep. It's been happening so often. Yeah.
Somebody get the police in here. We've got a sheep thief on our hands. Zerton getting that sheep across the map here, and he's gathering from stone now as well. Carnage.
Yeah, you know, back in ancient times, if you stole another man's sheep, they would hang you for it. Just like they do in 1800 Western, cowboy times. If you stole a man's horse, you would be hung for it, and now it's happening with the sheep of Carnage. And yeah, this is strange. Is Zerton making a barracks? I don't think he is he? No, he's going full greed, even making a priestess of Ra for a second TC, and he's confined to his base for a good time now, I think. Carnage isn't even H2 yet. Wow. So he really... Oh, that one sheep though. It's the stolen sheep. You don't get away with theft. Does he see it? He does see it. Both players know that that sheep is ready to be converted back, but it's not happened yet. Yeah. Is that a Beorix? Yeah, it is.
Rack's finally coming down for Zerton. He's gonna get his second town center up earlier.
Yeah, but yeah, look at compare the TC place. Zerton's basically adjacent to his starting TC, while Carnage is securing a much better spot for himself on the map with that second TC, and he does have the map to himself, but that is soon going to change. As soon as this barracks is up, the X-Men are going to be taking the map back from Carnage's spearmen, but Carnage knows that, so I don't think he is going to be surprised by that.
Carnage has some axemen onto the field now.
Yeah, Carnage is not a big fan of helmets, is he? Most of his units don't have a helmet. Most of his units have a... Yeah, maybe he prefers to have his units enjoy the breeze of cold air, especially on this map.
Absolutely, gotta stay fresh. Certified fresh.
Stay frosty. This message is sponsored by Spartan Heroic Vanity.
There you go.
Buy one now for free.
So, I'm thinking, I don't know. It looks like both players are going to go pretty heavy axemen here. So, kind of as you predicted in the beginning there, that instead of the camels, they're kind of opting for the axeman build.
Especially on a map as small as this one, yeah. But one thing that I'd like to point out already is that priestesses on both of his TCs, where Carnage only has either one or no priestess. So, and many times, yeah, he doesn't even have it on his. Okay, he has it only on one, but in a mirror matchup like this one, it actually makes a huge difference. You have priestesses on both of your TCs or not. And as you can see, is that a second stable? I think I see the golden horseshoe. Yeah, it's another stable. So Zerton going for a cav heavy composition, whereas Carnage seems to be one barracks, one stable. So only two production. Okay. Oh, actually, they're going for the same composition. Thing. But yeah, Carnage needs to pull back. How is he behind? And check the count. 32 to 37. Wow. So that early TC and the X is really paying off. Yeah, Micro W92. This game is back and it's 100% free. You can't even pay for anything, even if you want. There's a play button at the stream description. You can click on that and start playing. And welcome to the stream. And look at this. From this point onwards, Carnage is not going to have a priestess on his TCs anymore. And it's going to put him really behind in terms of villager count if everything goes on without any sort of raiding from either side.
Two more stables coming down for Zerton.
That's a lot of camels. But it's also happening for Carnage. I'm a little surprised if I'm being... Maybe these guys love their camel. Who was it the other day who made like a ton of camels and against Celts even? Was it Optimal Acorn, I think? Not sure. Maybe they watched that game and got inspired by that.
Perhaps.
But Carnage is so behind in terms of population already, and really surprised with that. 20 pop behind. 40 villagers to 45. Oh, Optimal Acorn, yeah. So I think overall Zerton is in a better spot right now. but neither player has an armory yet, does he? I mean, do they? I don't see an armory.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh,
Here's an
no,
armory for
there's one.
Zerton.
Yeah. Carnage.
And finally an
There's
armory
one
coming
from
for
you.
Carnage.
So we can you just click on one of the camels, see if they have any upgrades? They don't. No upgrades. They just has now he is getting the melee damage upgrade. That's very good. And I think Carnage is gonna do the same. Scores are getting closer. Yeah, both players doing pretty much the same thing throughout this game. Both trying to set up watch posts. Carnage less successfully. And yeah, there's a lot of camels. Cure saying in the chat, 10 years later, Egyptian mirror still a camel fest. Well, I mean, these guys love their camels, so. But camels versus camels has been nerfed considerably compared to 10 years ago. They have bonus multiplier against each other. They have less health. So, let's see. Can you check how many camels each player has actually? Just double click on them. 23 for Zerton, 26 for Carnage, okay. And Carnage's melee attack is getting researched completely now, and Zerton only now getting the upgrade? Did he cancel it? I think he misclicked it. Pretty sure I saw him researching that tech way earlier. But this is a small window opportunity for Carnage to do some damage with his camels if he elects to do so. He did cancel it, Ace saying in the chat. Okay. Well, and this is not a fight that Zerton wants to take. He realizes that and he pulls back. Camel wars are one of the most cav wars we have. Especially because of the huge multiplier camels have against other cav and the relatively low HP that they have. It goes out of hand really fast. These camels though, okay. These players are just both being really active with their camels on the map. But Zerton researching champion spearmen. So like I predicted, one player is gonna go for some spearmen, but it's not the player I predicted. Instead it's Zerton who's gonna mix in some spearmen, but he needs more food. He needs to get some more food. He is currently really starving for food right now. Sending his camels to the base of Carnage. What is he gonna go for? What's at the top? Is that a group of villagers? It is. Group of hunters who are going to quickly meet their demise. Oh my god. There's no way, not even a single one is going to survive. H4. Zerton getting champion camels. Though I'm not sure if that upgrade actually does anything here. Because if you hover over the upgrade for champion camels, you will see that it's mostly geared towards making camels a better anti-ranged unit, of which we have nothing on the map. Oh, actually, I take that back. I forgot about the extra health, so never mind. But Zerton really needs to be careful with these camels. Gonna get sandwiched by the army of Zerton, by army of Carnage, I mean, who is putting up his Temple of Set. After seeing that Zerton has reached age 3. But look at it, he's just running through the base of Carnage, not caring. I guess you can do that when you have such fast units like camels. And that's really nice by Zerton. I don't know if you noticed, but he cancelled his 3rd TC and placed it at the very bottom of the map. Which is exactly what he needed to do, because like I always say, your H3 TC should only be used as a travel point for your caravans. Oh, and look at this. So many camels for both players. Ace making a nice point about empowering the armory. That's correct. Priestesses of Ra can empower research time on buildings too, so if you put a priestess there, they're gonna research faster. But look at this. I think that 15% extra health for the camel Zerton is not actually enough to outnumber, undo the, or rather, overwhelm the numbers of Carnage here, but he needs to pull back now because there are some spearmen mixed in, and Carnage quickly recognizing that and pulling back. 8 champion spearmen. But at the same time, 4 champion camels sneaking in at the backside of Carnage's base. Neither player has any sort of wall set up, to my surprise. I think walls are good here, pretty good. Because camels don't have a lot of DPS. You can defend against them. Yeah, and these camels are... These are not gonna stop any moment. If they stop, they're dead. Because there's a lot of camels chasing them. And Carnage, I mean, Zerton just put a market there, yeah, exactly. So, one of the things that I've noticed throughout both of these games is that Carnage does not put enough pressure on Zerton. Like, most of the time I see Zerton being the aggressor. Even last game where he was Babylon and playing against Celts. And I think the only matchup where you're not the aggressor as Celts is when you're playing against Norse. And even then you should be pretty active on the map, but Carnage was not really putting a lot of pressure on Zerton during that match. And came back to fight him. And yeah, look at this constant reinforcements to the raiding groups of Zerton. He's now attacking the gold mine, and yeah, look at where Carnage is looking top side. There are some camels there, a bit more to the top, at the very top right actually. Some camels are being really annoying. And Eerie actually mentioned that Carnage only going now, and he's right. I think I saw him starting at Temple of Set, but he didn't actually reach H3. Did he cancel the Temple of Set, or did it get sniped or something? Because it was exactly where those axemen were standing. It got denied. Okay, we missed that. So it's a huge window of opportunity for Zerton to push in right now, having access to 20 more population, and I assume he does have grades researched already. 53 villagers to 73. Wow. So all the extra population that Zerton has over Carnage is all in villagers. Literally all of it. So the army sizes are actually equal. So it all comes down to who takes the better fight. He's coming in to see this. See the army of Carnage and Zerton. And I really like how one of them has a light equipped to the other being all epic. Really puts a contrast on how the armies look, so it doesn't really feel too much like a mirror matchup, if you will. Pretty good. We need to talk more often, unless you're eating.
Nope.
Yeah.
Here comes a big push here from Zerton on the right hand side of the map. Looks like he's gonna get a few villagers, a few axemen. And he's trying to come in here to deal with this. Although Zerton's got on the left-hand side some infantry units.
That fight at the top right, I'm not sure who's gonna win it. I think it's gonna be Zerton, maybe. But he is distracting Carnage so he can attack from the left. Nice. Carnage is catching up in terms of population. He has his 30 set up now. Where is his 30C? Is it next to the second one? I think it is. Yeah, alright. So that's not the most optimal positioning for his market, because look at Zerton's market line, it's just fantastic. Getting full 150 gold, I bet. While just harassing Carnage and not allowing him to get his own market route going. And the Priestess is coming in clutch for both players. Yikes.
Big engagement here. Carnage really on his back foot. He really needs to respond to this, otherwise I think it might be game over for him. I don't even see that he has a market line anymore. This could be the beginning of the end.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Carnage is pressure on Zerton, man. He's leaving him to do what he wants. when you play against a player as good as Zerton, if you just let him macro up the way he wants, you're not gonna be in a good spot. Like, that market route by Zerton is about as perfect as it can be for this map. Like, if you just check one of his caravans, you'll see how much gold he is gathering from each trip from his caravans. Let's just find one that has some... come on, why don't you show? I think actually those aren't carrying any gold. Let's look at the base of Carnage. Actually, his third TC is being under a lot of pressure from Zerton. He's just constantly harassing the army of Carnage, but both players need to heal up their army. Actually, look at how low for both of them. They just need to stop for a moment and let the priestesses do their thing. Carnage going for a death push, yeah.
Trying to push in here. He's gonna see a fortress though.
Yes, that's not a place you can push. What I would like him to see, I mean, what I would like to see him do, that I can set up. That would put some pressure on the caravans of Zerton, because he surely knows by now that Zerton's having a lot of gold sustain with his caravans, and he should be looking for that. But he's not. He doesn't want to stay here actually, or maybe I don't know. Zerton has some chariot archers now, flank the camels, but he has some axemen in his flanking army, so it's slowing him down, and he's and half of his army is actually fighting the buildings and the caravans, and not all of them are engaging at the same time. This is not looking so well for Carnage here, or is it? I think overall, well, actually, I take that back. Carnage has managed to clean this up really well. Wow, that's how did this happen? He's suddenly 30 population ahead of Zerton. Wow. Oh my god, that's crazy. I have no idea how this happened. 84 villagers to how many of Carnage? 46! So that completely explains everything. The army was much bigger for Carnage. Oh my god. This only shows that the score should not discourage you, like, by any means. He is suddenly completely back into this game, and with the sustain provided from the priestesses, you can just stay here and, like, yeah, good for you that you have so many caravans when you can't trade with them. They're just dead pop. A really nice play by Carnage. Now he's trying to pull back. He's trying to put pressure on this fortress, perhaps. Yeah, and these camels need to kill the chariot archers, actually. But he doesn't want to fight here because now he has less units than Zerton here, and he does not have the economy to. Or actually, he does now. Okay, I take that back. Every time I think Zerton's gonna win a fight, he does not actually. Really surprised here. Wow, Carnage is just killing the fortress, putting pressure on Zerton everywhere. But he is still behind in score, and he is making some siege towers. Actually, where are the siege towers? I'm pretty sure I saw one in the queue. I can't see anything on the minimap, so I assume it's inside his base. Oh, you can. Okay, yeah. Second siege workshop even coming in, and that's really nice because he sees Zerton's making. He's making axemen and chariots, and a lot of them, and those units are not very good at dealing with rams. People calling GG in the chat. I don't know if it's time to call GG yet. Not sure. Zerton is ahead in population by a lot though, because he managed to remake his army, whereas Carnage's population, I mean villager population, dwindling. Losing even more. Yeah, look at that army by Zerton already maxed, whereas Carnage is struggling to get to 180 population. Honestly, Zerton can just put down a Temple of Ta and go to H4 really soon. And these siege towers are just dead population right now, unless he can somehow force the chariots to attack them. But Carnage is going for a really good flank. So actually, Zerton has nothing to actively deal with his camels, and it's not looking good for Carnage anymore. He's gonna lose his camels to the chariots and the axemen, and I think this is gonna be what starts to be the final fight of this game. Yeah, Carnage is down to 94 population, and there's the GG. Well played. Well played by Zerton and Carnage. Both players playing really well, showing the ups and downs of both play styles of going military heavy and eco heavy. Really nice.
So looking at the stats, certain head and populate or villagers. I'm very surprised Carnage lasted as long as he did on so few villagers.
So what do you think about that game?
It was interesting. Zerton, played incredibly well. He was kind of on his back foot there when Carnage pushed into his caravan line, but Zerton fell back, regrouped, and pushed back and was able to take his base back. And Carnage just didn't have any economy behind it to be able to deal with that. Zerton outgathered him by 15,000 resources. So
Yeah, and 6,000 of that was in gold. Look at the tech difference.
Tex.
That's holy crap! In a mirror match, when you're behind 14 techs, that's a lot of techs you're not having.
Indeed. So going to.
By the way, I just read in chat that we have 60 viewers watching the stream right.
Welcome everyone to Age of Empires Online Project Celeste. You are getting you are tuning in smack dab in the middle of Carnage versus Zerton, best of 5 semifinals in Beorix's Brawl, latest tournament here for Age of Empires Online. Zerton just took game number 2. Listen, if you're brand new to the game, if you're brand new to Age of Empires in general, Age of Empires Online is completely free to play. If you go to the description of the channel, you will see the play button, and you'll be able to play for free. As PF2K mentioned earlier, you can't even pay for anything if you wanted to, so keep those microtransactions out of here. And yeah, it's, in my opinion, the best Age of Empires game of all time, probably my favorite game of all time. So give it
here.
Give it a try. You won't regret it.
Yep.
So Carnage calling for Sheltered Pass for game number 3.
Nice.
And Carnage is going for the Persians. While Zerton has opted for the Celts.
Oh wow. Persia versus Celts. How do you feel about that matchup? Because I think everybody knows how I.
I'm, Celts are probably my favorite civ, at least for right now, until the Romans come. But, I honestly, unless Zerton's able to get to age 3 pretty quickly, I think Persians are probably favored pretty heavily.
You think? Okay.
At least in my opinion. I don't know.
Right, yeah. One of the most influential changes we've had in this, making immortal camps cheaper in H3 and making immortals 1 population down from 2. So when Persians can survive to H3 and get some immortals out, the Celt player really needs to kind of changed his game plan because you really can't take straight up fights anymore. Whereas in H2, like you just want to force a fight with Celts. Like the Persian H2 army doesn't really do all that much against the Celt H2 army because of how much of a hard counter both the longswordsmen and slingers are for Celts, and your Spar Bowman army just melts. But later, when Persians get their immortals, then you really want to play this game of cat and mouse where you avoid a direct fight and just try to tear apart the Persian because immortals are strong in a heads-on fight, but they're only 6 speed. So if you can just manage to get the Persian to spread himself too thin, then you're in a good spot. You're asking, so if Persia survives and spams the Immortal, is an insta-win? No, it's not. Game is balanced, guys. Come on.
Indeed.
Like, honestly, though, Celeste is a lot more balanced than the original game. If we should really have this kind of, like, AOEO vanilla mode, where you can just go back to how things were before Celeste, and you would see 9-speed elephants and Lancers with 20% extra HP with champion Lancers and stuff like that. Then you would see.
The original elephants still give me nightmares.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to get into game number 3 here shortly. Let me know in chat what you guys think about game number 3. Is Zerton going to 3-0 Carnage? That would surprise me. That would be very surprising to me if Zerton 3-0's Carnage. But let me know in chat. Give me a 1 if you think Zerton. Give me a 2 if you think Carnage. Is Carnage going to take it to 2-1 as the Persians? We'll see. And as always, F's in the chat for Striker.
Nice. I was going to mention that, but you beat me to it. Everybody's actually spamming F now. ruined. Okay, 1-1-1. 9 from Recon. And from Ace. F from Eerie. 111 from Euphoria. Yeah, don't press F9. F9 is just quick load. I don't do moderns even have that anymore? Like different. Like from what I remember, F5 is quick save and F9 is quick load. That's from like I don't know, Return to Castle Wolfenstein and games that old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
A little bit past that these days, but
yeah,
folks.
These
here
days
we go.
people. Let's go. Yeah.
Alright, so Carnage and Zerton in game number 3. We've got Sheltered Pass. This map is interesting too with Celt versus Persians. This map can turn into a defensive battle with those choke points. So we'll see how these players decide to play the matchup. But we're going to start out with the red Persians of Carnage down in the south and the blue Celts in the north here for Zerton. Zerton go for some early aggression?
He has to.
Yeah.
I think he has to, yeah. So in this matchup, you really want to be putting on full aggression all the time.
My concern for Zerton as the Celts is with the Asabara from Carnage. You know, if Carnage is able to raid well with his Asabara, it could be troublesome for Zerton.
Yes, like in the early days, most people would only make Barbara and Bowman against Celts, but recently people have started turning the tables and using Asabar to be at the offense. For me, that's really surprising, like because I'm like one of the old school players, and I really like my Barbara Bowman in H2, but seeing these Asabaras doing a lot of damage to the Celts is really refreshing for me. And let's see if Carnage goes for that style or if he sticks to the old styles and makes Sparbow in H2. Really curious. He is making his Beorix though, and I assume he's gonna get 810 very soon. 810 is critical. against Celts in Age 1.
Barbar coming
Seeing a
in.
lot of
Carnage.
capos in the chat about Asabar. Come on. Wow, look at that spearman from Zerton. Samurai. With the samurai helmet. Yeah, Zerton has some swag units. And there's the 8th by Carnage. And he's making Sparbar. So I think he's going to be pretty good on defense. I mean, yeah, Zerton's not even trying to actually defend. I mean, right click on the villagers of Carnage and now the 8th hits. It's going to be pretty hard for him to do any kind of meaningful damage. Yeah, he realizes that and pulls back.
Carnage opting for some Carthaginian shields on his Sparabara. Interesting crossover.
Spaniard approves of Carthage shields.
Indeed.
Is that right?
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Let's see, where's the second hunt for Carnage? Does he have any? For Carnage? I don't see one. There are the boars. Oh, there's this. Okay, okay. It's fine, it's fine. 1v1 fight, who wins, Spear or Sparbara? I think like 1-1. It's close, but I think Sparbara wins in the end. Sparbara have 90 more HP but 3 less DPS, so just some quick maths will tell you. But they're also cheaper and produce faster, the killed ones. Yeah, Carnage needs to really check this spot before he sends a villager, because that villager is not gonna like what he sees. A bunch of spiky spears. But he does have Sparbar to defend against this. And Zerton still Wait, could you solve the problem with the card of the Clinicus? What? What card of the Clinicus? How do you know about Clinicus? I'm a little... That's weird. Yeah, I don't know how to respond. Is that a second? Oh my god, Carnage is expecting to see a lot of pressure on this spot, so he's making his second start for extra 10 healing per second there. And that's really smart. He's making sure that nothing stops him from gathering from these hunts. And that it moves behind his back. What's the problem? That's how he was designed. But anyway, let's look at the game for now. Carnage is now defending with 8 spars to date. I think he's making more. 10 Sparbara to the 10 spears of Zerton and some longswordsmen, but he does have 2 810s here, so if it's on point with his 810 micro, it's gonna be good for him. Getting a second TC. Zerton's second TC is also getting up. Oh, that one villager. Oh, spiky spears take them down, and I think Carnage is losing his villagers actually. Zerton ignoring the Sparabara and just right-clicking the villagers, and he's losing a lot of villagers here. Carnage 18 to 22, so he's down 4 villagers already, and I think he needs to abandon this spot immediately. Wow. Yeah, 810 is good, but not that good. It's not a get out of jail free card. Carnage pulls back. He's another villager too. Is he? No. Zerton didn't right click on the villager. Okay. Do spears have faster attack time? Yes, a lot faster. Sparbara have the lowest attack speed of all H1 units. Zerton with a full samurai vanity set, even on his villagers.
Samurai and Celt crossover.
Yeah. He's giving a hint at the next Civ guy.
So Zerton pushing in a little bit on Carnage's base, getting a little bit of information. Carnage is getting an archery range, so going to start pumping out some bowmen to try to deal with these infantry units. Down goes the
Rip
scout.
scout.
It's not good.
Destroyed. Yeah.
So Carnage is going to have a difficult time scouting ahead now and knowing what's coming from his opponent, which is a very important aspect of the
Quick
game.
H3. H3 by Zerton.
Wow.
2/3 of the way done. Damn. He's making more barracks, so I assume he doesn't even have an archery. Only votes. Yeah, only votes coming. And that's really good because Vote Raiders pretty much kill everything Persia can make in H2. Every 4. I mean all 4 units. Even Asabaras don't do that well against them. It's fine, but it's not a great trade. He's just sniping what he can. Carnage is also going to H3 though. So if he can survive, yeah, there are the Vote Raiders by Zerton making 3 at a time. But he needs to put a lot of villagers on gold because Votes are really gold hungry units, 50 gold each. It's the same as an Asabara, but half the population. Look at that. What's that sword? Is that the samurai katana he has on the
Yep.
samurai weapon? Yeah, looks really nice.
Very cool.
Oh, yeah, really cool. And also we fixed the visual bug with the on Vote Raiders, so now we have the legend back. Looks really neat. Yeah, look at that. Marching on to victory to destroy the Persians.
Let's see, third town center coming down for Carnage here on the right side. Carnage very concentrated in his base building here, getting out an immortal camp as well.
Yeah. Zerton just establishing map presence everywhere, and that's exactly what as Celts in this matchup. But Carnage is not out of the woods just yet. He is making 3 villagers at a time. He does have access to this back gold, and he's just starting to make some farms, and that's fine. I mean, that's just how Persia versus Celt plays out in the early stages. Just feels so oppressive. You can't really move out. But if you can manage to survive to the late game, it gets better for you over time. Getting more and more immortals. While Zerton's not really making anything to... Like, he's not making any military right now, actually. Can you check the villager count, by the way? 53 to 51, so Carnage actually caught up in villagers. Now he's making some archery ranges. So Carnage should start making some Sparabara. And look at him resourcing, I mean, spending his resources really well, Carnage. He's like 33 gold, 100 food, and he's spending his wood too. Really nice. No release date for the Romans. I can't wait no more. Oh, we're working on them. They're not finished yet, but they're on their way. We just have every week we have updates in the blogs. Make sure to read those. Lots of information.
Recently announced that the Romans will be starting from
Released.
Oh.
Yeah.
Starting from level 1, so that's very cool.
Yeah.
Full campaign.
It is. Full campaign, lots of historic battles that you will be able to enjoy. And one thing that I'd like to mention is one thing that the Roman campaign has over Civ's campaign is that all the quests on the Roman campaign have co-op. So other civs have a lot of solo only missions, but we will still have campaign quests that are like that, like very story based. But you can always have a co-op partner, even if it's like as small as a supporting army. It's still there. But let's get back to the game. Vote Raiders are trying to flank the base of Carnage, but I don't think this is a cost-effective trade for Zerton here. He's gonna lose a lot of these at the cost of a couple of villagers, and it's really past the point where losing like 2 or 3 villagers is gonna put a dent in your economy. That being said, being behind 20 villagers is not exactly what you want to see. But look at the minimap. Like, if you just switch to player's visions, like, let's first check Carnage. See how little of the map he sees. Like, nothing. He hasn't even scouted Zerton's base ever. Whereas Zerton is just, like, he has everything on the map to himself. Yeah. Yeah, Bout is right. A lot of villagers died there. I didn't realize that he is so far behind in villagers to begin with, but now he's like 20 behind. And now Carnage is making bowmen. And look at that. It's the Delian League sword on his immortals. But, like, if you see this unit advantage that Zerton has right now, it's not good in a straight up fight. So Carnage just needs to not die for now. Just needs to survive. But he is doing a nice job at securing resources, sending some immortals to accompany the villagers to make sure they don't die. Like, how many votes do you need to send there to kill those villagers? There's like, how many? 16 immortals defending the villagers. But I'm surprised to see that Zerton is not setting up a caravan route already, because if it was like Carnage playing on the other side, he would have set up a market route by now. But I guess he's content. I mean, he does have 2,200 gold banked up. We just need some more stone and he can go H4. Getting all the upgrades. And Zerton, I mean, Carnage is basically making nothing. I see nothing but immortals. I think you should always sprinkle in some Spara Bar. A lot of people don't make as many Spara Bars as I would like. I think Spara Bar are almost always a good unit to make. Especially with Shield Wall.
Yeah, these immortals are going to be pretty strong against the Celtic army, which it looks like Zerton's transitioning to primarily bowmen and druids.
Holy moly, 41 bowmen. And he is also getting the gift of Sequana, so those druids are soon going to be Elder Druid, 40% extra healing. And that's oh, actually Zerton's making gold mine. If you look at this, yeah, he's one of the things that people rarely get. But Zerton's finally making some gold mines, and one of the things that people probably don't even know is that when you make gold mines on like gold mine, if you make gold mines on gold mines, the minimap icon changes to the color of the player who owns it. Like if you check the stone mine next to the left wall, bottom, yeah, the villagers inside are producing a lot more gold than they usually would, because the conservation is basically 1,500 extra gold per gold mine. That's huge. But Zerton going to H4 now, and Carnage is nowhere near an H4 transition. Why is it +7? Because it's 7 villagers gathered at the same time. If it's more, then you see more. It's just 1 second ticks.
65 immortals.
Holy moly, I mean, Carnage is just gonna push in. Wow, that's a lot of immortals. 66 bowmen. Yeah.
6 druids. Fortress coming down.
Yes. Yes, Bout, you're right. You can upgrade to have 5 more villagers inside the gold with the gold rush tech inside the gold mine building itself. But not sure if this is what Carnage wants to be doing here. He certain that I'm coming for a base, and Zerton is preparing. He's even getting Bowman Champion, which is 20% extra range, and that's extremely good defensively. So many extra bowmen can shoot arrows. This might be the one moment that Carnage can do something. But can he cancel that fort? Can he right click that fort? I think he can. Oh my god, the damage of the immortal is insane. killed the fourth from like 85% health. Now he's gonna stay there and trade with those bowmen, of which there are 69 here. And he just doesn't care about the TC fire, man. Even if it's 2 H4 TCs, he's just gonna go in and sit there. And he's starting to build up a nice bank. And oh, at the right side we're missing some raids. Okay, yeah. Now Carnage needs to respond to those boat raiders. But at the same time, yeah, Carnage is just having this huge ball of immortal that cannot be contested. So he's gonna take equal trades, but very nice of Zerton securing gold mines and pretty much all. Only 3 gold mines left that are not taken. I mean, one of them is being used by Carnage right now, but Carnage needs to start thinking of caravans very soon. Oh, and this just can't get ugly. Is Carnage paying attention? Oh, he's just gonna right-click the TC maybe. I suppose not. But this is a very weird fight. Like, both ranged balls just attacking each other. Carnage getting Asabar champion. I assume he's gonna make a transition to deal with the bowmen of Zerton. And look at those bows, those samurai bows. They're so long. Yeah, is it like a Yumi bow? I think it's called Yumi, but I'm not sure.
I believe you're correct.
Yeah, look at that.
I like those banners on the druid as well.
Oh yeah. But look at this, like Carnage just using these immortals however he wants. He's just freely roaming around. What I meant with Celts being unable to take full-on engagements when it gets to H3. If Zerton could maybe get some front line, then he can easily test these bowmen, especially now that he has bowman champion. He can just fire from the back line. He even has the final archer range upgrade, which I believe gives them 10% extra range, or I think it's even 20%. Can you just check the range of the bowman? So it's 26 attack range. That's like a war wagon. That's huge. Immortals only have 18, and he's gonna get sandwiched here, I believe. But Zerton needs to be careful because, oh my god, because Immortals, if they get on top of the bowman, if he don't kite, look at this. But I think it's overall. Oh my god, this Asabar flank is gonna be. Carnage decides against it actually, staying back, making more Asabars. But look at these players, they're playing so well, just knowing what the opponent is gonna do and preparing for that. Carnage is making lots of Asabara. Zerton realizes that, and he is champion Carpentomes and champion Horseman, so he's gonna be good on defense for a long time. And I believe the red dot on the right side is the market for Carnage at the very edge. Okay, yeah, he's starting to make caravans now. But he really needs to put up some walls on the left side of the map, because I'm worried that soon enough, once these bowmen are dead, they're gonna be replaced by Carps, and Carps are gonna wreck the caravan line of Carnage. Oh man. So both players are in H4. Carnage is getting his 4th TC up. Soon he is going to get access to 200 pop. And at the left side, I think Carnage is just sending some immortals up. Those are cool looking Asabars actually. Oh, but this is gonna be huge.
Ahura Mas, the bless.
There's only bowman for Zerton. Only bowman, no front line.
Thank you, Vitalius, for the follow.
Oh my god, these bowmen are a lot long for gold. They're gonna die, all of them. But there are some horsemen at the back for Zerton. But wow, look at this damage output from the bowman of Zerton, killing a lot more Asabars than I would expect. But here's a flood of Asabars coming in for Carnage, and I think he's gonna clean this up eventually. But those bowmen surely did not take an uneven trade. So many boom and so much damage. But as you can see on the production tab, Horseman and Carpentomes coming in for Zerton. And Carnage really needs to wall. Like Persia versus Celts, after Immortals, the most important thing you have in are walls. You cannot keep up with the mobility of the H4 army of Celts unless you have walls to buy yourself time. I mean, Carnage did find a gold mine on the left side of the map. I believe he is attacking it. That's about, yes. So that's one of the advantages of the gold mine. Like, look how much extra time Zerton had to defend those villagers. They were safe inside, gathering gold super fast, and being safe now. Both players getting more upgrades for their stable units. Carnage getting horseshoes, and he's actually fighting against these horsemen. I guess when you have bars, you cannot lose to that few horsemen. But Zerton just is so rich, 4k gold, while Carnage is struggling for gold right now. He is making more. Can we get a quick check on the villager count, please? 81 to 90 of Zerton. Okay. I wonder if Carnage wants to stay on this composition. Asibar as an Immortals. It's pretty good though. Oh my god, those poor villagers. They got wrecked. But just look at the map. Everywhere you see people moving around. Zerton has now completely walled on all places on the map where Carnage has only walled off the right side of the choke. And he hasn't even upgraded the wall, so just a couple of Carpentomes can just tear down that wall. And I would really like him to make more walls at the right side, because that market is really for the people who don't know, and PS games, there is no in Age of Empires Online, so you cannot, like, your market is not safe there at the right side. Oh, but this is gonna be huge. These Immortals do not want to stay here. Oh man, Carnage needs to pay attention, and I think it's too late for him to turn back now. He just needs to stand there and fight. He's losing those Immortals, and he's replacing them with mounted archers. That's really nice. So both players transitioning to a full stable army. Maybe he actually wanted to. Now that I think about it, distracting Zerton to make him send his entire army to the side while he puts some pressure on the left wall, getting champion mounted archer, which is really good. He pulls back though.
Pretty big bang for Zerton here versus Carnage.
Indeed.
Not quite as big. That gold mine really coming in handy for Zerton. The gold mine of the Celts, that is.
Yep. But here's just playing this cat and mouse game. I don't think Zerton can actually catch him, because he has Asabar champion with... Oh my god, this is... What is he doing? He just right-clicked behind the army of Zerton. He really needs to heal those Asabars back up, because if they fight, they're gonna die super fast. And this is what I was mentioning earlier with the walls and the Carpentomes and caravans. You see that putting a lot of pressure. And Carnage cannot afford to defend against this with mounted archers, because mounted archers melt against Carpentomes, and now he's trying to attack both sides. Carnage is trying to deal with this. I think he's gonna clean this up. Main base. I think he's gonna be alright. He's fighting mounted archers with, I mean, horse mounted archers. Maybe there were too many. And yeah, there's the right from Zerton, the 15% extra damage right. Rasta, very nice timing. Making good use of Celt mechanics here. First with the gold mines, now with the rivers. And that really came in clutch. And really, I think that's what made the difference in the fight. I didn't expect Zerton to win the fight that hard, but he did. He's making even more Carpentomes. And really, this is the point where I think you need to make Sparabar a champion with shield wall. It's really, really clutch here.
Zerton going to try to pick off some villagers from Carnage here. Carnage investing pretty heavily in mounted archers.
He is. And that's exactly the unit that he doesn't want to be. I think only bowmen are worse. Oh, I mean, Zerton is making some more. So there's that. But really, this comes down to the fact that Carnage is not making walls. Like, walls would have been so good here. You just cannot afford to run around and constantly defend against that. Because once again, these units are built in a way that if you just attack move both armies, the Celt one wins. Because the front line of the Celt one counters the front line of the Persian one, and the back lines don't necessarily do much to each other. So it really comes down to how the Persian crows in two places. Yeah, now these unupgraded walls are gonna be really, really dead. And I don't think Zerton even needs to take down the walls. He can just go to the very edge of the cliffs and kill the market, but he can just do it the old-fashioned way, breaking down. But Zerton, I mean, Carnage is already prepared there, so he has so many acid bars. But at the same time, I see something at the left side. I think that's more units from Zerton. Yeah, but at the market of there's the big fight going on, and I think he's trying to right-click the market, and I don't know how well that's gonna go for him.
Zerton now replacing his units with slingers.
I have mixed feelings about that, but look at this. This choke point is being utilized so well from Zerton, and Carnage realizes that he's not a cost-effective fight there. He pulls back, but now his caravans are all idle. And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think Takabara and Sparabar champion with Shield Ball will do a lot better against this army than stable armies from Persians. But I don't play it often too much these days, so I'll keep my opinion to myself. 65 villagers, 88 for Carnage, I mean for Zerton. Making more Sparabar, I mean Asabara.
Huge bank for Zerton still as well.
Yeah.
Zerton is losing several units, but he's just able to reinforce them so quickly.
Oh my god, Zerton is abusing the hell out of that choke point. Carpent forcing Carnage to pull back every time, and he's just gonna attack move behind him and just deal with it. Oh my god, now he's trying to deal with the horsemen at the front. More and more horsemen, and that's really the unit that Zerton needs to make right now.
Might be it. He's getting so many production facilities.
Yeah, even the extra damage right while using those carpentons, which are still alive, by the way. They're not dead. And there's so many horsemen flooding in from Zerton, and Carnage is all but out of gold now. No gold, no markets. Half the villagers of Zerton, and yeah, I think that's GG, I believe. Looking very good for Zerton here. 10k wood, 4k gold, 200 pop. Zerton, 80 pop head of Carnage, and there's the GG. Well played.
Wow. So Zerton takes it 3-0.
He did. Really nicely done.
It was nicely done indeed. Yeah, just Zerton, you know, went to H4 and he was just able to. Again, he seemed to lose some of the engagements, but his economy behind this was just so much better. And I think it comes down a lot to you know, what you mentioned with the map control. You know.
Yep.
You know, because Zerton just controlled so much of the map, and Carnage was kind of
Yeah,
starved.
he played really well. Yeah, he is. If you noticed, there was pretty much no direct fight ever in this game.
Right.
That's exactly how you want to play CVP, and kudos to Zerton for playing it like that.
Indeed.
Look
So
at that, 14,000 more
14,000 indeed. More techs as well for our Celt player in Zerton. And now the reigning champion, or the current champion, I should say, is taken down. He will be able to fight for 3rd place against Striker, and it will be Zerton versus Erie in the finals. Has there ever been a Zerton versus Erie final?
I believe so. We've had one Erie versus Zerton. No, I think.
Interesting.
And I think it was 2-4 for Erie, but I don't trust my memory on this, so don't quote.
Well,
Yeah.
well played to Zerton. Zerton takes Carnage 3-0. I'm pretty surprised by that. I must say, I'm pretty surprised that it was 3-0. So, but
Yeah,
well played.
really nice games though. So tomorrow, same time. Is it right? Same time?
Yep, so we're going to start tomorrow at 1700 UTC. Just check your local Google, aka the interwebs, for a time converter to figure out 1700 UTC time in your local time. We'll see you right back here at Project Celeste, the Twitch page, for the 3rd place match. Starting first, that will be Striker versus Carnage for the 3rd place match, and that is for $20, 20 US dollars. And then the grand finals, I believe, is it $100 or $120?
Yes.
First
Yeah,
prize?
I think it's 100, 120. I'll quickly check.
And then I believe 60 maybe for 2nd place. So one of the bigger prize pools that we've had, and that's thanks to you guys, everyone who's donated, everyone who's subbed to the channel, donated to the tournaments. Thank you very much. Even just viewing, guys, we've held steady, close to 60 viewers, so thank you for that. I hope you guys enjoyed it today. Thanks to PF2K for joining me for the casting today. And
thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Absolutely. And tomorrow, guys, again, same time, same place. Can't wait to see you guys there for the grand finals of Beorix's Brawl. See you guys then. Have a great day.